Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Changes Zone, where we pick things up and we put them down. Mainly my KD. I'm coming back to talk to you guys about my Twitch experience and just to give you guys some tips and tricks maybe for the 2019 Twitchcon. This is all based off of the 2018 experience, so some of the things may apply, some may not, and it depends on what town it is that you're going to. So in this video, we're going to go over simple things such as, where to travel to, how to book your reservation, what's your checklist of things to prep for the event, how to scout out the area around the event, what to do when you get to the event, how to best plan out your day around the panels of the event, the meet and greets, and the expo at the event, what sort of things to expect by vendors and partners. The etiquette that I noticed from the 2018 experience, some do's and don'ts, and just general things to look at. So without further ado, let's get started.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit.
So first thing you want to do when you're planning out your TwitchCon 2019 experience or any of the years after that is you want to book in advance, alright? Very important, all the prices go up and the area picks up really quickly as far as it just being booked out. Don't assume that it's not going to sell quickly. It is a huge event. I've been to 30,000 people rock venues and I was still blown away by the capacity of people that I saw at my experience at the TwitchCon. I mean, lines absolutely wrapping around the building worth of people. So I definitely encourage being there early. But we'll get to that later. What I'm really wanting to talk about right now is booking your hotel in advance. And I'm talking like at least 6 months in advance. That way you ensure that you're getting the best possible prices. If you ever need to back out, most hotels have a policy that you can back out within a couple of weeks prior to the event. And you might find other opportunities where you could, room with another streamer or offer a room if somebody backs out of your group. I do encourage going as a group. It's truly an awesome experience when you have friends to share it with. So find people that are trustworthy and can commit to the occasion, and just have a backup plan if life throws a wrench in their way and they're not able to make it. Be understanding. We're all people and have our lives to live, and we can't control the things that are thrown at us. But if you can enjoy it with your community, absolutely the way to go, 100%. So yeah, booking 6 months at least in advance. That way you ensure the best prices. If you can find hotels attached to the venue, obviously that's a great choice. Just to limit down the walking, to be able to grab things from the expo, from the vendors, take them back to your room and get back. That's definitely a huge tip. Now, after you've already booked the venue and you're good to go there, well, then you're going to want to start prepping for the event. When you're prepping from the event, some of the things that you might want to consider is creating a Discord channel basically that's just around TwitchCon. So all the people interested in knowing about TwitchCon or communicating that they're going to be at TwitchCon have a way to communicate back and forth. You should have omni-channel presence, meaning that you're communicating with your community about TwitchCon on your Discord, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, because each individual may have a personal preference that's just their go-to, and you just need to be aware of that. Or you need to let it be known on all platforms that you should funnel all those people to one platform, because that's where you're going to be posting where you're at, the time of the events, and what to expect out of your schedule while you're at the event. When you're getting ready to prep for the event, some of you will fly in, drive in, take the train, whatever your situation is. You definitely want to take a look at modes of transportation once you get there. You want to consider putting a budget aside for Uber or Lyft. You want to consider the new Bird electric scooters app that you can get out there and check it out. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but it's a cool, convenient way of zipping around town. If you're just out of walking range, but you don't want to do 100 Ubers in a day. So they got the Bird scooters, they got different versions of them across the states, I'm sure. electric bicycle rentals. If you're not sure, call a local business around the area and just ask them, be like, hey, you know, do you have these sort of things in your area? I'm going to be traveling there and I just don't know what to expect. That way you can get some insider information. And also there is a goodie bag in there once you show up. So definitely get to a staff member, ask them where the check-in spots are for swag bags or affiliate pins. I do recommend when you're planning your days off around this event, if you're working, to request the day before the event off, okay? So I made this mistake. I assumed that you would go to the event Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most people would want to stick around for an extra day after the event. And, you know, it seemed like actually the majority of communities were having their planned parties the day before the event. So sponsored vendor parties, you know, community parties, networking parties, hanging out with your friends, that sort of thing. If you wanted a real chance to have organic networking and friendships made, you know, I definitely say take the opportunity, take the Thursday before the trip off so that you can plan on hitting 1 to 2 of these probably before the event starts on Friday. So I would find out which day the party at Twitchcon is. So in my experience, the party for Twitchcon was on Friday. That would be the one day that I would say not to carpool, not to do the Uber thing, to take your own car to the event so that way you and your friends can all load up into your car and go from the event to the venue that the after party is at, which is typically not within walking distance in my experience. It's typically something that you would have to drive to. So instead of taking, you know, 2 to 4 Ubers in a day, which can stack up, that's anywhere from probably $40 to $80 right there. That would be the day that I would say, if you have a car available amongst your group, you should take that to the TwitchCon event, and then that way you have that means of transportation and do paid parking, or sometimes it was actually free parking where we went to the after party. Okay, so now when it comes to the after party itself, you definitely want to pay attention to Twitch's Twitter, okay? So this year they put out a mobile app so that you could kind of see where events were, timelines, and know where they were going to be at, but they didn't update the party event location and what it was all about until the day of. So you couldn't plan in advance, you weren't really sure about it. So I think it came out on Twitter first and then the app later. I honestly didn't notice it on the app until the day after, and I was trying to keep a mindful eye on it, but I saw it on Twitter before I saw it on the mobile app. So I would pay attention to Twitch's Twitter for updated events, party locations, and timeframes. Going to the party, I wouldn't expect it to be overbooked. So far for the past 2 years for the TwitchCon after party, it has not been overbooked. It has not been difficult necessarily to get in. We basically showed up and were able to walk right in. I will say to just check the weather for where you're going, because it was very warm in the day when we came in, but definitely a few people would have wanted a sweater at night for the TwitchCon after party. So take a look at the weather, plan accordingly. Maybe on that day just bring a sweater just in case. So Twitch this year did an early badge pickup, meaning that you could pick up your badge to get into the event the day before. So that is a really awesome way of handling the situation. Basically for Friday it created 2 lines, 2 different ways to get into the building. There was one for pre-badge pickup and there was one for getting your badges. Now, if there was a little bit better organization as far as the staff members knowing where the direct people instead of just pointing in general locations, and a little bit more clear-cut lines and signage, I think it would have been a lot better. Personally, I ended up spending an hour in the wrong line, which I don't regret at all. I actually ended up meeting some really cool developers and getting to know them and making friends, so I don't regret that experience, but overall I was directed to the wrong location and there wasn't clear signage, and it just kind of seemed congested at the entry. Once I found the proper line though, it was probably as fast, if not faster, than the developer and pre-badge pickup line. So once we were there, we made, again, a couple new friends. Definitely recommend, networking and just hanging out and talking, in line. And just so you know, throughout this video, when I say networking, all that means is just talking to other people. Like, I don't want you to think too much of the, business or like follow for follow or any of that stuff for it. So I'm really just talking about being open with the people around you and being aware of their presence and saying hi to them. and just having a genuine conversation and seeing where that leads. Alright, so let's talk about getting ready to go for your trip. So one of the things that I want you to think about is your food prep. Okay, it's going to be a long drive or trip for most of you. And once you get to the hotel, you might have to hustle and get going to the event, or you may not, but either way, something to think of. So you want to have like hydration, you definitely want to have water. If you do the energy drink thing, do that as well. You want to have like non-perishables that you're able to keep in your room, just in case you need to have that snack on the fly, because no one likes a hangry person. You know, I mean, we've all seen a little bit of rage in our lives playing some games and doing IRL, but let's make sure that you prepare for the trip and you pack, some nourishments and hopefully something healthy in there to keep you going for the week. So one of the things that I was unsure of headed to the event, and I actually decided not to do, was to make business cards or some type of calling card with your social media handles on them. I personally didn't know if it was going to be perceived as tacky or kind of like fake follow for follow, which definitely is not the way to grow your channel. The following numbers don't matter. It's really about genuine value and experience that you give back to your viewers. So I mean, that's kind of how I took it. So I decided not to bring them. What I will say is I've changed my mind. Not because I agree with just passing out your business cards to everybody, but because when you start truly genuine conversations, being interested in another individual other than yourself, which is like a huge tip, is just don't go around that event talking about yourself. Just be curious about what other people have that they're bringing to the table in the Twitch community, and spend most of your time listening. You'll be so inspired by the different stories that you hear while you're there. And if it's genuine and they find value in your personality, or they like being around you, or talking about the different ideas that you guys bounce off of each other, they'll ask you for your information. At that point in time, if you have a business card, pull it out. It just makes it a lot easier than saying, hey, enter in my 15 character username on 4 different platforms with 3 different variations. I mean, no one's going to do that. So number one tip is have the business cards in case someone asks you for them. Don't just be passing them around, soliciting follows. So the other thing is, you got your name badge. So this year your Twitch label, which isn't your other social medias, but your Twitch label at least, was on your badge. So you just snap a little picture of the badge. But the cards are really, really handy. I saw them as a value once they were requested by the other person that you were talking to. So a little tip, just go ahead and do the business cards. Just don't be passing them around like, you would see on the corners of like a Vegas street with a new album release or something like that. Alright, so going to the parties, the events, if you guys do the pre-game sort of situation, if you're talking about that, I would definitely recommend doing the pre-game with your friends and all that stuff, just because the lines for any of the food and venues are just really long. So if you're trying to maximize the most out of your content with the people, and not lug them around from line to line of the venues, I would just pregame. I just hit the hotel for half an hour, show up half an hour late to the party, and have a good time that way. Now, if you're standing in line with your friends that you're networking with, and that's a great way to kill time of the line. You're just forgetting about it. You're like, oh yeah, so what's this new idea you're trying in your stream? Oh, take a step forward, getting a little closer to food, and then you continue on your conversation. And that's a great way to kill it too. But if you're not interested in tying up time like that, and you want to have a full body experience of other than the essentials of substance as far as food and drink, then get it out of the way first. So this is something that I did not take seriously. So I tried to look for YouTube videos on like prep for Twitchcon, and I saw some things, and I saw some crazy people like getting thrown out for trying to record things that they weren't supposed to record, and I didn't really see what I was looking for. So that's why I'm making this video for you guys, is that you have kind of a more clear-cut do's and don'ts and checklist to prepare yourselves for the event. One of the huge things that I didn't take seriously was planning your panels in advance that you want to go to. And what I mean by that is the panels are just the events, the speaking events on different multiple stages and a lot of them stack at the same time. So I thought it'd be real simple. Like, I don't really have to put a lot of thought into planning this. When it becomes available, I'll just go to that panel, and if there's another panel that I like too, then I'll just leave the one that I'm at and go into that one, and I can kind of hop back and forth. That was not the way that it worked at the Twitchcon. The rooms fill up to capacity, they shut the doors, and they don't let people go back in. And even if some people leave, they still don't let new people go in all the time. I'm going to say all the time, okay? I saw some rooms that did and some rooms that didn't. So if you want to be sure, I would definitely recommend show up to the event early. You know, I'm saying probably like 10 minutes early for a normal panel, and for a huge named panel, you know, for example, this year it was, you know, Ninja or Tim the Tat Man, you know, anything with Dr. Lupo and many other, you know, well-known streamers out there. You might even want to show up 20 minutes to 30 minutes earlier than that. Like, the roast session was amazing, truly hilarious, and I'm happy that I made it in. But I was literally the last person they let through the door before they shut it behind me, and I would have been really disappointed if I didn't get it. So plan your panels very seriously. They will stack on top of each other. I would not bank on being able to go to multiple panels within the same time slot. So really narrow it down to what's most important to you. And don't forget that you can go back to Twitch and watch the VODs on some of the other ones later. So it's not that big of a deal. So just make sure you focus on the ones that you want that one-on-one true experience of absorbing it firsthand and being a part of that community. So another thing is, be aware that most of the cases that I've heard from TwitchCon, including some of my own experience in this last year, you have poor signal, okay? So you want to make sure that as far as communication goes, within your inner circle of people, you have some ideas planned out. You know, maybe you might want to bring some, you know, walkie-talkies, so that way you're running off of radio signal instead of cell phone towers that might be blocked. So if you want to get somewhere quick, you don't have to kick out a text message. 20 minutes later, you get a, you know, one-word response, and then you probably don't even notice it until 20 minutes after that was sent. So you're dealing with a 40-minute window of like trying to bounce back and forth instructions to organize groups. So walkie-talkies might be a cool idea. Definitely ahead of time, confirm one source that you go to for communicating, such as like Discord. Discord's like a very widely used one for events like this. So maybe the walkie-talkie, maybe the Discord, maybe you guys all get cell phone numbers in advance with each other. Whatever works for you, but pay attention to it and plan for this. Reception is not always available. Even in the hotels and stuff like that, I experienced a little bit of troubles. One of the other things you want to think of is bring a pod, power on demand source. It's like the size of a cell phone. You can pick it up at anything from motorsports to camping stores, and it allows you to recharge your battery on the fly. Yes, there's outlets where you're going, but let's be honest, if you're bouncing from panel to panel and expo to expo and hanging out with friends, you're not going to stop and wait, you know, 20-30 minutes to charge up your phone. I mean, if you have to, you're going to, but you would much rather be portable, I'm sure. So you can pick these things up anywhere from like $50 to $100. You know, you got a whole year to plan for it. You can throw it in your backpack or in your back pocket and be charging up your phone simultaneously throughout the entire day. Because you're going to want to take a lot of pictures, you're going to be taking a lot of videos, you're going to be doing some meet and greets, you might have some panel notes that you want to kind of record and bring back to your community. Bring a power on demand source, super important in my opinion. I think it's a must-have. So another way of recording is, I saw some people with some like really cool lightweight cameras on sticks or GoPro, so both of those were allowed in. IRL streaming was a thing. Now with the IRL streaming, just kind of an etiquette thing, and I don't know if I'm just new to it, but I really like watching IRL streams, and I really like the idea of the IRL streams, but as far as my personal experience, it was getting old really fast, having an IRL camera shoved in my face, asking me random questions that didn't seem genuine as far as the person wanting to get to know me, but were just more so them trying to create buzz content for being at the event with their chat. And I get it, you know, you're doing your IRL stream, more power to you, but maybe before flicking on that camera and stuff, you ask people if they want to be part of the IRL stream. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I felt a little annoyed by it. Now I played along and I answered their questions and I tried to hype it up for them, because I didn't want their chat to be, bummed out with the content. If I were them, I'd want to be providing good content for my chat too. But with that being said, I think that the IRL streamers could have been a little bit more just accommodating for other people that maybe you're, introverts and shy and not wanting to be on an IRL stream in the first place. I didn't mind it too much, but that's what scares me, is I don't mind that stuff too much, and I still felt a little uncomfortable. So maybe just be aware of the other people out there. Other than that, keep doing you, and I hope that IRL stream goes amazing for you. I wish you nothing but the best of luck with those sort of streams. It was really cool actually seeing like these backpack rigs that had like little fan blower motors on them and battery charging packs, and it was like a stream on the go out of a backpack. Like super cool stuff. Just the approach to me was a little bit off. So the other thing that's really cool is I recommend, like, for your hotel, bringing some board games or card games or even your consoles, but you want to call ahead and see how their Wi-Fi works. So some hotels have the site that you have to be brought up, and you have to bring up their website for their hotel and input your information and your room number and all this other stuff. And sometimes you can't hook up consoles to that sort of Wi-Fi. So if you're bringing consoles, maybe bring a mobile hotspot or check with the hotel before you book to see how their format works, to see if it's going to work with your console. Because I'm a huge fan of being a traveling gamer and streamer, and I have another review that I'll leave a link in the bottom for, a traveling game case that allows you to just pop open the suitcase. It's got a monitor inside of it already. It's already got a console inside of it. And it's on sale for like $50 off right now, so you might want to check that out. I'll leave the link in the description below, and if you want to see it, you can do that. Save some money, be able to travel and game a little bit more freely. So one of the first things when you get to the event, you want to go straight to a staff member. Like, don't get in line right away, because you don't even know if it's the right line. Go straight to a staff member and ask them what the layout is, what the setup is, where to go once you're inside. Do you have maps of the events? Having the maps is a really useful thing. So definitely check with a staff member first thing. The other thing is just have fun. Speak to the people that are around you. Some of them have amazing costumes. Some of them are wearing, their branded shirts, such as like what I'm doing right now. So I'm wearing this because this merch just came in. I just got it today. I really love the way it came out. I used Streamlabs for this setup. It was a giveaway that I did for other people. I wasn't selling the shirt at the time. But it's it's awesome seeing people's get-ups, their designs, their costumes, their cosplays, their just pure motivation and enthusiasm for the industry. It's just really awesome. So speak to the people that are around you. Trust me, they're there because they want to talk to you too. Maybe they're just a little bit more shy than you are. Take the first step, say what's up, introduce yourself, and ask them what they do. Alright, so once you're in the event, I want you to heed my advice and just go around the different halls and avenues of the event and figure out where everything it is. I was in the second and third day and still finding things that I didn't even know were within the event. They had the app with the name of the places for where the different panels were, but they didn't really have a map that was easily read for me, as far as what level to go on to find these things, what these abbreviations actually meant, what sort of things were going to be hosted there. They had names and acronyms for the different rooms, but I had a hard time finding where those rooms actually were until I actually devoted some time searching through the venue and finding them first. And then when I went back to my panel notes as to which panel was in what room at what time, then I had a good idea of where to go or a general understanding. But I definitely recommend doing it first thing, because I feel like I lost out on time and experience with some panels that I could have gotten to had I known where they were to begin with. The other thing is, when you find a staff member inside, you also want to ask them if there's anything you need to know about if you're a Prime member, Amazon Prime. So this year there was a Amazon Prime patio, basically, or Twitch Prime patio, that you got an extra sticker and you could put it on your badge, and it would gain you access to a little VIP spot in recognition of that. So definitely ask if there's any perks for being a Prime member, being an affiliate, being a partner. There's a partner lounge that's on private, like little VIP section, very cool as well. So you definitely want to ask the staff members about these sort of things. So in general, my experience with the vendors in the expo community is that there was a lot of coupon codes, it felt like, this year. Not really sponsorship conversations. It was more so like, hey, let's go into some affiliate marketing. You promote my product, you get a percentage off of it, and that's what I'd say 90% of what I saw was. And even though that's the way that they were promoting it, I would encourage you to speak to the representatives of the company and see what they're about. So I had a little bit more success than most people. I feel like, maybe not most people, maybe I'm just assuming there, but I had some decent success by asking them what their company's about, what the marketing direction is, how they're, facilitating their growth, what are their goals, what was their, mission when they started, and how long have they been around. And then, after you've got a good understanding for the company and it's a company that you believe in and want to back, then you ask them how you can support them, what you can do to bring more to their table, and facilitate that sort of positive relationship where you guys can both build off of each other. Alright, so that's about all that I have for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures and slideshows and some videos in, so if you like what I've got, don't forget to hit that bell button and subscribe to the channel, and you can check out the social medias that are actually up right over there, so go ahead and check those channels out and enjoy the rest of the video.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. If I launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10s, I'm so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live my die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb. And I'm the one to get it, bro. I swear to God, I get it, bro. So don't just let me get it. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'm the one to get it, bro. I swear to God, I'll get it, bro. Hey, I ain't never giving up. Said I never give up. I got this, man, I got it. I will rock when I'm on it. Never rock it. Got the block lit, I'm toxic. Spitting logic, think I'm nauseous. Honest, can I stop this? Never cautious. Drop it, I'm the hardest. Dark, bitch, watch it. I'm the fucking king of rock, bitch. Poppin', spitting hot shit. I'm dropping, chronic. I think I'm motherfucking lost it. Facts, matter of fact, making racks where it's at. Have my back to the mess. Started back, that's a fact. We attack in a back, no react. Think I'm black, off the deck. On the left, not the step. Going down, give a crap. We're advanced, I'm the man. Got a plan better than most brands. Goddamn, I'm a rock till I die. Never lie, not a lie. I don't try, I defy. Yes and die, that I'm right, yeah.
I can feel the pain, man. I can see the look.
Yeah, I've been in and out the studio like a student though, working on a movement, yeah, I'll do it cause I'm in the zone. And you know that I'm ready for the shows, how it goes, I don't know, but I'm waiting till I'm chose. Run, here I go, all these people wanna know what you think of them lately. Do you really love me or do you really hate me? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you grade me? All this social media has got me going crazy lately. Everything's inflated, mainly, everyone's invaded. Privacy is naked, man, I really hate it. God, I really hate it. I just wanna make it through all this fake shit. Living in the real life, living for some real times. Talk about the real climb, passionate in real rhymes. Real time, bad from my 9 to 5. Taking back my fucking life, I just wanna feel alive. And I'm on the I swear to God, so don't just let me get it. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm the one to get it, bro. I swear to God, I'll get it, bro. Hey, I ain't never giving up. Said I never give up. Fake it till I make it. Motherfucking take it back from these haters. Playing tracks for the traitors. Got the passion in depth when it happens. Factions take actions, drafting their
captains, it's happening. I'm raising my status.